So there are some changes to the bard that we're going to be seeing in Unearthed Arcana, and what subclasses do we get?
So each class has a number of refinements in it, as well as the subclasses. So I recommend everyone watching these videos to go to the classes and subclasses and read the little update lists for all of the details. While you and I can kind of talk about the overview,
Right.
but there is so much material here that we'd be here for 3 hours if we went in and talked about each little thing.
And remember, there are the designer notes. Like, those
Yes.
are very, very helpful for each of these classes. The designer notes kind of walk you through what has changed.
Exactly. In the Bard, we have a new version of Vicious Mockery. This cantrip is now Bard exclusive, and as a part of making it Bard exclusive, we have increased its damage. The spell now, rather than dealing 1d4 damage, deals 1d6. One of the biggest new things in the Bard is we're experimenting in this new version of the class with allowing you to choose which of the 3 big spell lists, Arcane, Divine, or Primal, is your primary spell list as a Bard. So investigating the playtest feedback that we've gotten on the Bard, not only as a part of this playtest, but over the past many years since D&D Next, people love the Bard's flexibility. This idea of being sort of the jack of all trades, not only with skills, but also with magic as represented by magical secrets. And so what we've decided to do is, what if we embed that right there in the main spellcasting feature of the class, where you decide, as a Bard player, is my Bard an Arcane Bard, a Primal Bard, or a Divine Bard, which then pushes you in some very different directions thematically and also in terms of the spells that are available to you to cast. This then builds really nicely up to Magical Secrets at 10th level, where then it's opened up, and just as in 2014, you can start picking spells from any of the 3 big spell lists. And so really we've leaned into the flexibility of this class to be the dabbler, the magical performer who is dipping into different areas to get their magical power, just as they also have, broad ability with skills. They also get expertise. Bards are all about using whatever tools are available to them to entertain people, to mess with their enemies, and to bolster their friends.
How do you see, besides the spell list, what makes them unique between like a Primal Bard just in your head, a Primal Bard, Arcane Bard, a Divine Bard?
Some of the main ways in which your Bard will end up not only being flavored differently, but having different functionality is if you choose, say, the Primal list, which, by the way, is a nice nod to the first edition Bard, because the first edition Bard did not have their own spell list, but instead were required to kind of work their way through elements of other classes. And that included getting druid spells.
Right.
And so being able to have a Primal Bard is actually a really nice nod to the original Bard back in the 1970s, because Bards back then were associated with druids, in addition to Bards getting to dabble in many other areas. So let's say you choose that Primal path for your Bard. That means you're going to have magic that, rather than focusing on bolstering and beguiling people, you are going to have magic that can influence nature, can, summon and guide animals. You can, this is going to be the Bard who can play their flute and lead along, the swarm of rats or whatnot. This is in contrast to the Arcane Bard, who is the sort of classic illusionist and enchanter Bard. And then the Divine Bard is, you can imagine a Bard who honed their performance craft in a temple or a shrine, and they will be able to use their magic to heal people, to buff people, while still having also powerful enchantment capabilities in the form of spells like Command or Calm Emotions. And so with each one, you get to decide, with Arcane, do you want to be more of the Enchanter Illusionist, or do you want to be, dancing or playing music or telling a story that causes vines to move as a primal bard? Or again, do you want to be like the temple singer or dancer who was a part of a religious order, and that's how you developed your musical ability?
I'm very excited for these distinctions. Those all make perfect sense for the bard. And we've got this new 20th level feature specifically to words.
Yes. So we talk about in the bard's story this idea that the multiverse was spoken and signed into existence with the words of creation, which are echoed by spells like Power Word Heal and Power Word Kill. And so we thought, why not make bards the class who are just guaranteed to have Power Word Heal and Power Word Kill, and are able to cast them in a way that is more potent than others. And so part of the Words of Creation feature is that a bard who casts Power Word Heal or Power Word Kill can target 2 creatures with the spell rather than 1. This UA also includes a new version of Power Word Heal that turns it into a ranged spell so that it interacts better, not only with this feature, but so that it functions like the other Power Word spells. As we go through and examine every element of the game, we look for places like this where we can refine something so that it will be even more fun and interact better with other things in the game. And so the change to Power Word Heal is an example of this, where this 9th level spell would be way better not as a touch spell, but as, like the other Power Word spells, something you can do at a distance.
Your magic is wrapped in words.
Yes.
Sometimes back to Welsh mythology of knowing the true names of things.
And these are words that aren't just spoken. They can be signed, they can be written.
Right.
So you can have a bard who's totally silent, who is working this powerful magic. And that leads into the brand new subclass in this Unearthed Arcana for the bard, and that is the College of Dance.
Yes.
This is a subclass we've wanted to do for a long time, because dance, of course, is an important type of performance, and I'm excited for people to play with this subclass as we have been doing at the office, and seeing what it's like to play a bard who is all about using their body to work their magic. And there are features in this subclass that allow this bard to be good at unarmed strikes, who can use their bardic inspiration to help other people move with them. So you can almost imagine this bard doing like flash mobs, like they able to suddenly cause a whole group of people to move with them.
Perfect.
Boost people's initiative, that kind of thing.
Nice.
And again, as an example of us exploring a fuller artistic landscape for this class that is all about the arts and performance.